electrification. So we acted quite early to taking the early signs. This is actually before they locked down the city in the epicenter in China, Wuhan, that is. So
did you see those first signs directly in your business? What did you see that alerted you that something was wrong?
Well, mostly nothing from our business at the time. General public was still not very clear, but because our business, we have to pay attention. We have engagement at all levels of in China, from government to regional, to the cities level, because we sell cars everywhere. So the first act we took actually was to secure a lot of masks at the time. This is before the masks become shortage. Anyway, so that was just the early things we did, and throughout the last 2 months, we have been running on a daily basis what we call the crisis management model. So basically, this is a command and control mechanism we established from very early to manage our people. First 10 days were all about our people, whereabouts, and how to make sure they are, they know what to do, they're protected, and all of that. This is including our dealers. When the government took a very firm effort in terms of locking down the epicenter in Wuhan and Hubei, one thing I reflect is having a faith and confidence. This will be over. Eventually, it will be over. Especially when measures like lockdown the cities and so forth taken into place, we start to plan in terms of recovery, how very organized the resumption and recovery would be. So in the middle of February, started to basically plan how people would come back and how to work. Suppliers. At the time, suppliers not only for us, but also supply to the global plants for Ford. Right, we supply parts in China to many plants around the world. And March is a lot about how to help the dealers and the customers come back to the normal operations. Disinfect, making sure we are the earliest ones to disinfect our dealership, the service shops, the showrooms, and so forth. So I would say the journey is about, first of all, early reaction and early actions taken to protect people, and then having a clear phase, confidence, and the planning for the resumption, then help our suppliers and our dealers to resume the work. So where we are today in terms of China, global Ford, we're still finding it was UC in US, but in China, 98% of our dealers are back. Our plant operation, manufacturing operation is basically back, and 80% of our people work in office. There's still 20% of them work away from office because school is not fully recovered. We give them the flexibility to choose to come in or not come in. Although, as you can see, I'm sitting in the office for the last several weeks already, normally as everybody is. That's our state of business. In general, in China, I think, it's not normal yet, right? The traffic is still limited in intra-cities or intercities, I would say. Public transportation is still a bit concerned. I took a flight over the weekend. There were a lot of people on the flights, but I think the percentage is far from what was normal. I would guess the airports and flights is probably 60% what normal would be. Right now in China, the biggest concern and the focus is actually the second wave, which is all coming from sort of overseas, as you saw some measures being taken. So hopefully that answer your question to recap what we were doing in the journey of the last 2.5 months.